My name is Clint Ives. I am a local rancher and business owner of Ernie Fencing and Construction. In some of these other forms, I've just kind of glazed over being a local rancher. That is worthy of applaud if you are still a rancher after the past 2.5 years. We do have a few lingering cows around the house, so I can still call myself a rancher, and we still got an account at the feed store, so we're in good shape. The business that I've owned was started 10 years ago, Ernie Fencing and Construction. Land improvement company is what it can fall under. We started out building fences commercially. Did that till I was sick of it. We evolved into heavy equipment contracts. Here the past few years we've traveled as far as Watula, Catarina, Freer, Texas, going into close to the Louisiana border. Heavy equipment, we've got contracts with Byrd County, we've got contracts with Jackson County, oil field contracts, as I mentioned. Through our business, any given contract, I can supervise and employ anywhere from 2 to 6 men, sometimes 7 men, depending on the size of the contract. Men that age from 19 to 55. And there never has been an issue with my supervision or my employment of these men, because I'm not the type of employer that sits in the truck with a clipboard and a phone. I've always been side by side with my guys. If we're building something that requires welding, I typically do all the fitting, the tacking, and I've got a welder that follows me. I simply make the decisions, which separates me from my guys. Family, I've been married for 5 years to the lovely Jennifer Mullins. She is a 2nd grade teacher at Chandler Elementary. 1 minute, wow. 2 sons, Cole and John. Skip some of the political business. Priorities in office, ensure public safety. That's kind of a pregnant topic. I do not have the time to go into it. Local law enforcement must have the tools, resources that they need. Fact of the matter. Volunteer fire departments. Very passionate about our volunteer fire departments. Keep taxes low. With equipment experience, I can efficiently run the equipment that the Precinct 4 operates. Create jobs. VECD is vital to our county. I feel like working hands-on with those guys, we can reach out to our small town homegrown businesses and help them to strive and flourish. Thank you.
I don't have any problem with the height. I'm Ernie Byrd. I'm running for County Commissioner Precinct 4. I've been self-employed for almost 40 years in the construction business and building buildings and moving buildings. The other county commissioners aren't very happy with me. I've been going to some of the commissioners' court meetings and coming up with some ideas like the overpass, how they could run Salem Road over the top of 463 and save millions of dollars, but they don't want to listen to that. It'd save you just build 1 bridge instead of 2. I was looking through the budget, and I really have a problem with something. I see that the juvenile detention facility at the airport last year spent $3.3 million. But they have a juvenile delinquent prevention program that they spend, in this next year's budget, they have $25 in it. And last year also, well, both years. And I talked to the Boys Club today, which I think is a pretty good prevention program for juveniles, and so they don't turn into delinquents. And the city's gone down to $7,000 a help a year, and the county pays 0. And I think we could turn this figure around a little bit if we would help with the Boys Club and Girls Club. And I was talking to some people the other day, and I told them that I had figured about 22 to 25 years you'll pay as much in property taxes as high as these appraisals are. Every 22 years or so you'll pay as much as you originally paid for your house. And they said, no, we figured it the other day and it was 20 years. And you know, you think you're going to retire and come out good, Well, they're paying $400 a month on taxes and insurance on their house and they're retired. So it's really never going to be paid for. I'm really not a public speaker, and I lucked out the other night. And so I think I'm just going to read what I've got written down over there that you can get a copy of. You can see that I'll write down what I say and what I mean. And this is the things I do as county commissioner. I'd insist that the appraisal district gets a thorough audit by a private auditor, not audit themselves. I'd be a full-time commissioner. I wouldn't own any other businesses. I'm going to either sell my business or shut it down. I use common sense and help stop the out-of-control spending by the county commissioners court. Insist that the commissioners court meetings be at 5:30 or 6 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. so the hard-working taxpayers can attend and get involved. And I donate 5% of my salary to televise commissioners court meetings. I keep a log of all complaints, problems, and requests and the status of being resolved. And I listen to taxpayers, encourage participation, hold town meetings, and that's all they're going to let me say. The rest of it's on my card over there.
All righty, same as last time. We'll get 3 questions. So, who's up first? All right, Jack.
Starting back in 1989, they got a constitutional amendment they ran past people with a vague thing about allowing the state, after all those years under the Constitution, to start spending money for, quote, economic development, which was never defined, has never been defined in the law. And I know the county's been involved in this, in such things as granting tax abatements. And what is your position on the efficacy of tax abatements, which would have been given out by cities and counties for, what, about 20 years now? Do they work or they don't work, or does anybody know or care?
You start.
Tax abatements, well, that's tough. If 30 seconds,
if the county can benefit from it, if there is set examples of economic development within our county, and it is working and we're flourishing, there is nothing wrong with a good economy if tax abatements work. If they're not, no. Let's common sense here, pull them out.
I personally don't believe in them. I think they ought to reduce the taxes for all the businesses to be fair to everybody, not just a few. It's really crazy the way they do it, and they just pick and choose the ones that they want. So I'm totally against it.
Question number 2. Y'all got off easy today. All right. Oh, you got. All righty. Okay.
You both are in the construction business, fence building, and I don't know what kind of construction, but what do you do in your private business to ensure that you do not hire illegal aliens? Oh, good question.
It is law, it is required by law that you receive a photo ID and a social security card from anybody that turns in a job application. That's the law. Realistically, you can tell if they're illegal, no doubt. You can look at one and tell, and find one that doesn't look that way. That's as simple as that. But no, it's that we go through the process.
I'm totally against it. You can ask the other commissioners what I've been talking about. Recently I went to bid on a job at Citizens Hospital, and the first question was, are you going to make sure the contractor that gets this job uses legal workers? And they said they didn't care, that it was not a federal job and they weren't going to enforce it. And I said, you mean you don't care? And they said, well, we don't mean that we don't really care, but we're not going to enforce it. So I'm totally against it. And O.C. Garza has been out. Never mind.